The issue that I thought was that I needed more capital.
Right.
More capital, more profit, no problem. So what I did actually was I took a loan out.
Yeah. Cut the show.
I know.
Cut the show.
But I took out the loan and I put it into the trading, and there was no good thing that came out of it. I'll actually tell you right now.
How much was the loan?
Huh?
How much was the loan?
It was only 10,000.
Oh, fuck. That's where the 10K came from. That's where the 10K. Wait, was that the 10K that you've been using?
The one that I lost, yeah. That's the one. That was the one that I lost it, yeah.
Oh.
So how about I tell you this?
All right, so I don't feel bad about myself right now.
No. There's most traders, many.
Well, they all start off like this.
Exactly.
You have the nice stories at the beginning to share.
I did lose it, but it solidified something in my head that it's not worth doing something that's wrong to try and justify doing something right later. Right? So the means of me getting that money was something that was impermissible, and as a result, we said there's no barakah, no blessing in it.
Right.
So what happened? I lost it. I had to work my tail off in my other 3-4 jobs, and then I pay it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why he got 10 jobs.
Huh?
This is why
This wasn't the reason why I got the job. Because I could have just kept making the monthly payments, but the interest on it was ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking. I did.
Oh shit! This is getting good. Hello and welcome to the RC podcast. This is our very first episode on the show today. Very excited. We have a lot in store. We have a very special guest for you today, and I don't want to give too much away. We're going to get into his story. He's a day trader, so I'll let him get into that, but I want to go a little in-depth more than just the trading aspect, maybe how we've known each other for quite a long time. But without further ado, David Andre, thank you for coming to the show today.
Thanks for having me. For those that don't know me, my name is David Andre. I'm the co-founder of DA Traders as well as DA Asset Management. I used to be a jack of all trades doing a bunch of stuff, but now I focused mainly on my trading as well as mentorship in my trading community.
All right. So I've seen a couple of podcasts, and most of them get into like what got you into trading and all that. So I want to get there, but I want to start a little earlier, like in terms of your story. So let's, if you're comfortable, sharing what the young David Andre was like, maybe a story from like your childhood or something like that.
I guess, I was one of those kids that, was growing up, wanted to be a firefighter after I seen it, probably on a TV show, but it just stuck with me. So throughout my whole childhood, firefighting was the route for me. I always wanted to be a firefighter all the way up until after high school even, So that was my main path. So along the way, I was doing everything pretty much. I had like 15 jobs.
What got you interested in firefighting or that you saw?
To be honest, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what sparked the initial interest. Apparently, my mom says that, I wanted to be a firefighter since I was like 2 years old. So, like, how am I going to remember what made me, want to do it then? But, along the way, I just was like, you know what? It is something that I wanted to do just to help people, and serve other than myself, serve the greater community. And firefighters seem like, a pretty sick way to do that. Every day is different. You run around. You don't know what's going to happen when it happens every shift. So that's the main thing that intrigued me into the job.
Right, yeah. So like, I know I know you're a trader now, obviously full time and all of that. And if you want to share like how you came across trading, like, was it a book? Was it a get rich quick thing you saw on YouTube? Or was it just like a desire for going down a route that is not as traditional?
Yeah.
So like whether it's day trading or like drop shipping, like all these kind of online marketing stuff you see people doing.
So essentially, when I joined trading, or when I first heard about it, I knew that, back then still firefighter was the main goal. That's what I was going to do. But I also knew firefighting, you had a lot of extra free time. So I don't know how it works wherever you guys are watching this, but over here, the way that those shifts work for firefighters is you have 24-hour shifts. So you're on for 24 hours, then you're off for 2 to 3 days before your next shift. You're back on for another 24 hours. So again, with the mindset that I was back then, I was go, 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 go. Still am now, but before then I had, 4 jobs. I was bouncing from one shift to another shift, some days going without sleep, going to school, coming back. So it was already, pretty crazy time when I first found out about the trading. But essentially the mindset then was I just needed something to sort of fill those extra 2-3 days that I could make some extra cash. So day trading I knew was something that was mentally tough, that you had to, continue developing your personality, developing your mentalities, and, constantly work to improve yourself. So that was the main thing that got me into, learning about it. And then once I, just heard about it once, that's when I went and got a book about it. From Amazon, lots of resources online now. So
yeah, there's a lot of information.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, there was not as much information. Now there's maybe too much information.
Yeah, true.
Especially, I don't know.
The get rich quick schemes and everything.
That's all the clickbait stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And like, it's not get rich quick, but they're just at a level that
get poor quick. It's gonna happen for other people. What shit? There's no get rich quick with trading. It's blow up your account and lose all your money quick. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, they do the clickbait stuff to get the new guys on board. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people started there. I definitely started there. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And freaking, I'm like, oh, who's this guy making 10K in 5 minutes?
That's the same with everything. If you heard about drop shipping, if you heard about, crypto and everything, that's the main thing that sparked everybody. You heard about some random guy across the world that put $10 in and earned 10 million overnight or something. And that just sparks your interest naturally.
They just failed to tell you that 7 years of experience in those to make that in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
But was there a hint of videos like that coming in before the trading that, obviously it started at the get rich quick, but was there any of that before?
Before I actually went into trading? Not really, actually. That's why it's kind of crazy. Somehow along the way, alhamdulillah, I didn't have those crazy, the stories of seeing these next level things online even, right? So I say I got very fortunate a lot of the time because I was protected away from a lot of those negative things that came with social media and the online presence, right? So growing up, I didn't have TV. That's actually a funny story. I'll actually explain that one. When I was younger, I was playing inside. Don't ask me why. I was playing inside with my sister with a water balloon.
Was this in LT?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Of course. When I was back with my parents,
Wait.
But this was when we're grade. It was actually probably kindergarten or grade 1.
So I was about track?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know him then. No. I only knew him in high school. That's another crazy thing that I didn't even know this guy. He was living beside me the whole time. But no, I was playing inside with a water balloon with my sister. We were playing catch. I don't know where the thought process came through with this.
Water inside.
Yeah, I don't know where the thought process came, but we're throwing the water balloon back and forth, bang, bang. And there's no problem. We're catching it. And then I gotta think about if it was my fault or her fault, how I want to frame this here.
Her fault.
I'm trying to think whose fault it actually was. I think what happened was I threw the last time.
Okay.
Oh no, I think she threw it the last time, but I wasn't looking. So I turned around or something, and I look back, and in the corner of my eye, I see the balloon going past, right? It goes past me. It hits, back in the day, your TV, you had to have the satellite box, right? Where you turn it on, press it on under the TV, and then, and then use the remote to connect.
Yeah.
So the water balloon went straight on it. Boom, pops. I hear it starts going crazy a bit. I look at the screen, it's going the black and the white lines start going crazy, everything. And then boom, dies. And then we literally, somehow, same time, that's when my mom walks in the door. She comes in the door, she looks at the TV, and she vows to us, she says, we're never bringing TV back in this home again.
Oh my.
But actually, never had it.
Even in high school?
Never.
So you actually never had a TV?
No.
Never knew that?
No satellite, no TV.
Or you just have your phones?
I didn't even have a phone till grade 9.
That's okay.
So that's why it was kind of crazy because.
To be honest, yeah, me too. I think not grade 9, grade 7, but
the green one's still.
The Nokia. Those things are indestructible.
Yeah, I know. This guy had the same phone for a decade.
Actually, funny story. I don't think the Nokia wasn't my first phone.
Yeah.
Before that, it was like a HTC,
Yeah,
like a smaller one. And then I remember in French class in grades 8,
Yeah.
Mr. If he sees this, he's gonna get exposed. Is it Mr. Bouchard? Is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. This guy, he's like, can't use your phone, man, in class. And I was using it for like the assignment.
Yeah.
Just didn't expect that. And he walked by, hit my desk by accident. Oh wait, no, he didn't. He walked by, he grabbed my phone to stop using it. So they confiscated from you.
Yeah.
This guy picks it up, it slips out of his hand, and then it just drops on the ground and the whole screen cracks.
Damn.
And then I go home and I get beat by my mom.
For breaking the phone, obviously, yeah. I don't know why some of those teachers did that, man. I remember in grade 9 too. I don't know if you were in that class with Miss Raffin, but we literally.
How did I teach?
No, okay. I think EJ was in it, but she had this rule: when you come at the beginning of the class, you put your phone in this bin at the middle of the class.
Yeah.
Or by the door, right? Most bait spot ever, right at the entrance, at the exit for somebody to come steal it and go. So I remember I got a new phone. I was feeling nice back then. It was like my first iPhone ever back then, right?
Yeah.
I put the phone in there, no problem. Go through class, did my thing. End of class comes, bell rings. Everybody beats it out the door. Everyone beelines out the door. I'm like, what's going on? I finish my thing, close the computer, I go to the box, tell me how the box is empty.
The phone. Oh,
yeah, tell me how the phone's empty. The box is empty. My phone never seen again.
Oh my.
I tried doing all the thing, find my iPhone, find this.
Yeah.
Gone. Never found it again.
And she didn't pay back and anything?
Obviously not. I told her, I was like, why'd you make me put it in the box and then someone stole it? And she had the audacity to say, why did I bring it? So like, come on. Yeah. I said, why did I bring it?
Why did you bring it?
Yeah.
You need it from school.
I was like, come on, man.
They're fried.
Yeah. So, never liked her since then, but you know.
EJ has some funny stories with her.
Yeah, I know. EJ was a menace in that class too when I was there. This guy's playing that rock song, always loud in the back of the class. What was that song called? I forgot the name of it, but the one when the guy starts screaming.
What? I don't know.
Let me think what it was called. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but this guy would always play some of the most random stuff out loud. He'd come to my computer, smash on the keyboard, you know.
Oh, he did that, yeah.
Go bruise everything, but he's still a dog though. He's still good.
Remember Miss Vandowitz? We were playing that stupid the plane pilot game.
Oh my goodness.
We're flying it. And then we could never land it safely. Everyone dies.
I remember this guy. It's because you always get so close to landing it. This guy's like 2 centimeters, and he starts laughing, and then crashes the plane. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
That class was so jokes.
Yeah, it's true. We
were always tip-top students in her class.
Yeah, exactly. That classes were very good. You know, it's good in high school to give people the opportunity to have some life management, accounting, marketing. All that stuff is actual stuff that you need from school. You know, like of all the other classes I remember. Didn't need my math, didn't need my English, didn't need, you know, a lot of the other classes, but the business and the life management classes, that's what you need outside here.
Important question. Have you ever calculated the circumference of a circle outside of that class? Or the Pythagorean theorem of a building?
Never. How about I tell you the Pythagorean theorem? The only reason we even refer back to it is to laugh about how we never used it again. It makes sense if you go into the field, you know, if you want to be a mathematician, obviously you'll need it. But 90% of everybody else that actually goes and just actually faces the world never needs it again.
Yeah. They should have taught, they also never taught, they didn't teach taxes in our business classes. I don't think so. Just marketing, accounting, and then some life management stuff.
But that's the thing too. School isn't there to teach you how to, you know, build a business kind of thing.
Right.
They teach you how to become a good employee. And the more you think about it, it makes more sense. You know, like you show up on time, you come, even in our school, we had a uniform in our school. Right. You come up on time, you have to have proper uniform. You got to sit, listen to the teacher, do your thing. You don't really have any chance to, you know, develop yourself within there, you know, and learn about like, how do I do this? How do I start my own thing? It's like, no.
Right. It's like they only make you feel like there's only one right answer.
Yeah, exactly. You got to just listen to everybody else and follow along.
Like one way, not this way, not that way, only this way. But there's multiple ways.
Exactly, yeah.
To figure out a solution or anything.
Exactly.
But yeah. Okay. Well, that was a good topic there, I guess.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you started reading books about trading.
Yeah.
When was the very first time you picked up a book It was like grade
The very first one, I think it was in grade, I think it was 9 or 10, but I ordered a book, or I saw it in chapters randomly. I went to chapters to get, I think it was something else I was trying to study, but then I just saw something about day trading. It was just your generic day trading book. It wasn't anything, too advanced or too in depth.
Right.
But I just saw it and I was like, you know what, this is something interesting, right? That was also pretty close to the time when I first heard about day trading. So I was like, you know what, let me take a look at the book and just start reading it. It was still in my mind that firefighter was the main thing, so I was mostly focusing on, on that route of things. But here and there, I'd still pick up the day trading book and just, do a little bit of research and, see what's going on with that side.
Was it the Andrew Aziz book you gave me, or was it one before that?
There was one before that. I forget the author, but no, the Andrew Aziz book was the sort of turning point. That's when I started to take it a little bit more serious. But some backstory to that: when I started reading, it's a book called How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz. I was also working, 3 security jobs.
Yep, remember those days?
Yeah, exactly.
This guy would freaking wake up. So I would get up to work at 7 a.m. Okay? You're going to work normally. A lot of people do that. Oh no, I was at Home Depot at the time, so I was waking up at 4:30 a.m. to get to work for 5. I don't know why they have their cashiers coming at 5, but I think either you would be leaving at that time or you're already gone. He's either at the gym or he's gone to his shift. But this guy gone in the morning, and then I come back at night or whatever, because I had to match his energy. He had 6 jobs, so I went and got 2 jobs.
Yeah, that's great.
So I would be back at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then he would come back also maybe 10:30, 11 after whatever job he was doing at the time. And then he literally goes to sleep, snoozes for 1 hour, and then he wakes up and he's like, all right guys, back to the next shift. And I'm like, are you crazy? 1 hour of sleep? So in between doing all those jobs, how the heck in the world did you have even time for day trading? Because I know a lot of people out here, whoever is going to watch this, they could probably relate to your story, or oh, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And especially our time, market opens at 9:30. Everyone's starting their jobs. You're not living in Vancouver. So whatever. So no
time difference. Yeah.
Right. So how was the process of that? Maybe start from I guess book-wise, time to read books and chapters and study. And then into actually simulation and all of that.
Yeah. I feel there is a lot of time in the day, right? But people mismanage their time a lot, right? Back then, still, you remember, I still had no social media, no social presence. I had nothing to do except work and develop myself and go to the gym, pretty much. That's all I was doing back then. But the time that I took to actually learn and study my craft was when I was doing everything else still. You know what I mean? The thing with the way that I started to learn about trading was I didn't trade at 9:30 normal time with people. What I was focusing on for the first 2-3 years was actually just practicing in the simulator. So there's replay simulators that you can use, a bunch of free resources to actually just replay the market data and test your strategies against it. So the first 2 to 3 years, I was just doing that whenever I had a chance and a computer, right? So throughout, even when I was working my other jobs, I sort of had one foot out the door. I always knew I wasn't going to stay there for a while. And one of the jobs I was working was at the Mint, right? So I was a protective service officer for a bit. It wasn't really for me, because a lot of it had to do with being sort of complacent in that job. It's you mate here, you coast for a bit, you just put in your time. You clock in, clock out. There's things you could have done to develop, but it wasn't something in line with what I wanted to do, right? So even at that job and all the other jobs, whenever there's any free time, I would actually just go on the computer, goes quick to the website for the simulator, the replay simulator, and just practice, right? And just watch it for most times. Just watch it, see what happens, and test different strategies. For studying the book, it was same thing. The great thing about security and that line of work when I was in is that there is a lot of time where
You're scratching. You're doing absolutely nothing.
You've probably seen, a bunch of security people that you'll see. There'll be like, some of the places they call them like uniform stuffers. It's true because you're just there to just so that the client can say that they have security. You're not there to be a cop. You're not there to go grab people by the throat and
all show and no
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. A lot of the times it's for that, for different reasons, insurance purposes, just for show and to tell their stakeholders like they have security. But that's what a lot of security, because that's why there's so many jobs. It's such a entry level job that anybody can get your security license and you can find work. So there's lots of people that would tell me, like, I can't find a job. But I'm like, where are you looking to start? You know what I mean? People, they're looking for a job, but they're so selective and so entitled to try and, start at the CEO position or start at the executive position. I'm like, this isn't how it works. Once you come to the real world, like, you have to put your time somewhere. You know what I mean? And you gotta put in the work at the beginning, the ground level, as you work your way up, right? For those of you that don't know, I also was in the military for 6 years. Right. So if you want to talk about starting from the bottom and putting in your time, like...
Were you training in the military?
No, like, I didn't have time to just go sit down at the computer and actually trade in the military there. But
you read books there or no?
Yeah. I brought my books with me whenever we're chilling. There was sometimes, like, we'd... so I wasn't in the full-time army. I was in the military reserves in Canada. So the way it works is you have minimum days that you're required to put in, as well as going on course to ensure that you're still, working on the soldier side of things, right? As well as the civilian side. But even there, sometimes, there'll be days where you go in and it's like, we have a bunch of tasks for you. If you bang out the task, you have some free time. You know what I mean? But that's the problem. A lot of people aren't willing to, grind it out for that short time so that they can relax for the rest. They want it to be like, no, as soon as I come in, I don't want to do nothing. So it's like, it's a change of mentality you got to have.
Right. So you're mentioning about managing your time. I know with me, like, I'm like starting a little small business, so I definitely have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I struggle with like freaking, so I have nothing to do, and I'm like, all right, I need to like either go practice in the simulator or finish the assignments that you have me to do in your trading course that I'm currently in. And then I just start scrolling on Instagram, and it's just never ending.
And that's what the time goes,
But even if it's trading content popping up or
it's still not good.
It's not good. And I need to find a way to get out of that habit.
Of course, yeah.
So to anyone watching, don't worry, we all struggle with the same stuff out here, you know what I'm saying?
Even me, like, the social media now is a more recent thing, right? Like, you see, like, now I've had to hire people so that I can, have a social presence, right? Before, without it, I would not have done it, and I definitely would not have.
I get like 6 trading memes from this guy a day.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe a bunch.
Okay, you were talking about how the first 3 years, like, you're in the simulator.
Yeah.
Did that start in grade 9? But like, obviously, you just never mentioned it to any of us. You're just kind of like under the radar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Were you ever skeptical about this whole trading thing? Because like, I tell my friends right now, like, either if they want to like invest in your company, like even small amounts, and just let it sit there if they're willing to risk like $1,000 and just take the chance and hold it for like 10 years or whatever.
Of course,
But, and then I tell them who is this guy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, like, he knows what he's doing, everything. And like, I don't tell them your P&L, but I tell them like the profits are blessed and all that. Whatever. But them hearing like, again, this clickbait, 10K in like 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes, let's say an hour of trading. They're like, that's too skeptical because everyone's so ingrained in this like world.
The matrix, as they say.
The matrix. There you go. You gotta work freaking 10 hours a day just to make bare minimum.
Yeah, of course. Well, the thing, like, that was the main time when I had my shift in perspective was when I was still working. I think at this time it was closer to when I made the switch and I quit my job to trade full time. But before then, like, I was still doing my 40 hours a week, and then, like, coming home and trying to practice the trading, right? The eye opener for me was when I made a trade and I made my whole month's salary that I would have made in one trade. Right. So a lot of people would say it's skeptical, but if you don't understand, you're automatically gonna say, you know what I mean? So that's why you gotta go out there and not be so closed-minded, but just, expand your horizons and be willing to look, and learn about different things, because that's the issue with a lot of people, especially after, you've probably seen this too now that you have your own business, but a lot of people, if they're not willing to work on themselves, they're willing to bring people down that are doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not a thing of like, if it's possible, we both know it's possible. But for them, when they hear that it's possible and they're not able to do it, it's sort of like a hit to the confidence, a hit to the ego. Like, how come they do it, but I can't do it? But they're not willing to put in the work at, at the base level. So it's easier to make excuses.
I think a lot of the distractions can even come from like your own family.
Yeah, of course.
And I think like, even more than just like your friend group.
Yeah.
Like literally strangers would be the one to support you more. Than your own family.
It's true. When you start businesses, it's other business people that are willing to like bring you up.
Right.
And a lot of the times you think it'll be like like your family that is already doing well is gonna try and pull you up, but it's not the case, because they're still human, like like everybody else. So,
and like especially like parents like us, they came from not like this type of country, like a third world country or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and like the mindset was definitely different back then.
Of course.
It's like the immigrant hustle mindset, like straight grinding out the hours.
Yeah.
So like when I was telling my mom about this trading thing, because when you introduced me to it, I was like that video, what the fuck?
Yeah, every time I remember when we lived together, this guy saw it, and our other roommate, his name's Yi, but he's also a good guy. We'll get him on here one time too.
One day soon.
Every time someone sees the charts for the first time, it's like they think you're like the Wolf of Wall Street hacker or doing something, next level. But
like trying to share that with like family members, saying like, it's like, because you see it, you're inspired, you're excited about something new. So when you're excited and
you want to share
it, you want to share it with others. But when you do share it and they don't understand and they're not used to that thing, it's like it's a scam or impossible.
It's a hit for sure. Yeah.
So I think it's best to just honestly, like, if you're starting your trading career, just don't go out telling anybody. Maybe tell a few people if you want, but don't just work on it yourself, kind of how you did.
Yeah.
I think that was a smart choice.
Same with everything. If you always just do your own thing.
Yeah, because if you told us in high school, yo man, check out this trading thing,
it would have been
it would have been too much. I would have probably roasted you even more.
Of course, yeah.
But
it's because, back then even we were still brainwashed to think like it's impossible, or like it's a scam or something like that. But even for our parents, it's even harder that they came from somewhere else and then they came and they see that, technology has the potential to give you this kind of things. I was especially blessed because my mom, she worked in banks for a long time. So she knew a lot about, finances. I think that I could contribute some of my curiousness towards the financial field to her, because she would always tell me a bunch about like saving and how you do certain things and invest the money and let it work for you. So she was not opposed at all. Once I started like learning how to trade and trading, she actually told me like teach her to trade too, or just invest for her while we're doing it. So I was good. I didn't have the negative side of the family that could.
I remember you shared with me like at first they were skeptical, but then
of course, everybody, because like it's still another hurdle, like to hear somebody, like even if you care about them, just to say, or just to hear them say like they're gonna quit their secure income.
You're right. Yep.
Right. You're gonna quit this guaranteed, like you'll get paid as long as you show up there.
Yeah.
For something that's riskier, that you have to, you have to risk your money and to earn more, but you could lose it also. So it's just
two
more
sides
uncertainty.
To the coin. Yeah. But the right discipline and training,
of course,
time, then you're good. But same thing. Like my parents or my mom, I don't tell my dad any of this. I tell my mom mostly. But when she was skeptical at first, and then like I showed her like how you're doing and everything. Now she's like every day. She's in Lebanon right now, so she'll call me. She's like, "So how's the trading going? How's the trading going?"
Yeah, exactly.
Going good. And I'm like, I'm still learning. I'm still practicing.
Of course, yeah.
But she's like,
you gotta go live soon though.
Yeah, she always asks, "How's David doing?" Like, how's he doing with the business and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, he asks us every day, and
same thing.
Like same thing is blessed. Yeah. Like goodness gracious.
Same thing. Yes.
Okay, when you started off. In the simulator account, those in the first 3 years, would you like do like a little like separation? Like the first 3 years was kind of like, what the hell's am I looking at and whatever, and then maybe was it like the last 3 years where things started clicking, and then you like it's like an advanced level.
So this is one of the main reasons why I created the trading program, right? Because when I was doing this alone, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, like I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing in the simulator. I didn't know what I was supposed to be looking for. I read many books before then, so I knew the patterns. I knew that as well. So that I was already a step ahead of a lot of people that just tried jumping into it. But it's still, the learning curve is still so crazy. As soon as you just look at that thing, even if you read all the books, as soon as you look and you actually go to do it, it's a different beast for sure. So the first, I'd say at least probably the first year and a half, I was looking, and the thing that makes trading so hard obviously is the mentality of it. So even in the simulator, everything that I read in the books went out the door. So like as soon as I click play and I see the chart going up, that's when the feelings came in, right? The fear or the greed comes in, and that's what the battle is in the market. Are you gonna have too much fear, too much greed? Are you gonna hesitate? Are you gonna go too slow? Are you gonna go too fast? Are you gonna, all of that is things that's just personal, right? So every time I started at the beginning, it was like if I saw one, green candle, it's going in, and then I buy, and then I didn't understand the price movement. It's gonna come down before it comes back up even more. So it was definitely tough then, but just because I knew like there were some times where I would end the day and make money, I knew it's possible.
Correct.
So it's not if I went in maybe a month and I just lost every single day, it would have been tougher for me to get over that hurdle.
Right.
But even the fact that I got one, and the way that my mentality works is as soon as I saw one win, I knew that it's possible. That you focus on what you did for that one win and build on top of it.
It's so different because freaking, like not watching the chart live, but seeing it in hindsight.
Of course, when you look back, you're like, oh, it's such a clear chart.
It's like, oh, look, it respected this level, support or resistance, and it bounced off nicely.
Yeah, of course.
But when you watch the candle moving live in action, up down before it closes and prints on the screen, and the next candle, it's like what is.
Then your brain takes over all of the patterns. You start seeing every single pattern in one little candle.
I feel, I don't know if you're probably doing it as a joke, but when I started trading or like reading your book, the book that you gave me, Andrew. So funny story, but this guy was pushing me to trade and like just go live because. I started reading the book that you gave me last March. So it's been a bit over a year. And then watching a bunch of YouTube videos and reading that book. And then in September, I went live. I wasn't doing stock market. I was in the futures market trading micro ESs and the ES minis because I wanted to try and do my own thing and do a fully different route, but definitely wanted to try and do something different so we were trading the overall general market and talking about earlier how you see a green candle, what's happening, just buy. That was my brain at that time, even though I went live, and I felt like to be honest, I felt like you were pushing me to go live. I felt like I wasn't ready, but you're pushing me, like, just do it, man, just do it, man. But
and I stand by it.
You stand by it?
Yes, of course.
You have a little story you want to share after that? Like why you made me or pushed me to do it? Or kind of, I guess it did help develop because you get comfortable with the live market condition.
Yeah, the main reason that I push people to go live sooner rather than later is because, there's some things that you'll never feel and never understand until you go live and you're actually risking. So a lot of people will be, they'll take too long in the simulator, so they'll be in the simulator for way longer than they should. And they'll get overconfident. They'll be like, oh, you know what, no problem, I know what to do. When I see this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then you get live, and then when that new beast is in front of you, they throw it all out the window, and they essentially waste that time.
Right.
They get overconfident, they go in the market, they think they know what's going on, but they never really had the emotions come into play, right? So then once that happens, they actually take 3 extra steps back now because they came in with the wrong mindset. Versus you get somebody that's fresh and new that already doesn't really know what's going on, but at least once they start, all the cards are on the table. They know what to expect now. They're not gonna, feel too confident until they're making money and they're making profits on the actual market.
Yeah.
Versus making fake money in the simulator, thinking you know what's going to happen when it comes live, and then you lose real money for a lot worse.
So like my struggle was obviously watching a million different YouTube channels, a million different strategies. I would be watching strategies from the Forex market, the crypto market.
Trying to put them into the thing.
So like, I'm not saying they don't work, but their specific strategy they're teaching is for that market, and that works for them. At the time, I didn't know what I was watching or what they were trading. I was like strategy. I had like 20,000 strategies, and my brain just got completely lost. And then like in the simulator account when I was doing futures, it was like I remember I was doing my 2-point scalp thing, and like it's like literally 2 points, like it's literally a millimeter of risk and a millimeter of profit, but when the stock goes live, that thing gets hit in less than a millisecond. No breathing room. I'm looking at this. I'm like, how does this guy trade this strategy? I'm like, this doesn't make sense. To me at the time, I was like, this doesn't seem accurate or right. There's no breathing room. Anyways, but it was green. The strategy was green on simulator.
Of course,
You know, just boom, buy 1 point green, next point green. It's like whatever. And then you maybe open the live account.
They go live, then it's a different story.
There's like the tab, you can switch from your simulation account to the live account. I click live, as soon as I switch it to live, my heart dropped.
Yeah, of course, That's the emotion,
My heart dropped. I was like, game. I'm like, and then I was like, do I buy, do I sell? What do I do, blah, blah, blah.
That's why it's tough, man.
So like, you definitely threw me in there. But after like, I had like a $2,000 account on the futures, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I think I managed it for September, October, November, December, January. I managed that $2,000 account for 5 months before I blew it up. I didn't refill it yet. That's when I went to the stock market.
Of course,
But maybe like after like 3 months, on the third month of doing live with small contracts, it helped me get comfortable holding a position a little bit, and I was still like, wanted to take the profit. Sometimes I wouldn't even take the profit, it'll pull back on me, and then I'm like, why didn't I take the profit? How could I, blah, blah, blah. It's all of that. And then going to the overconfidence thing, now I came to the stock market, I think I definitely feel a little overconfident in like right now in the simulation. It is after doing the course, it is after actually making a proper playbook. I didn't have a damn playbook at that time.
Of course.
I was just like, one day it's this, one day it's that, one day maybe this, maybe that. Who knows what I'm looking at?
Sometimes
now it's more strategic and taking it more seriously, I would say. But I might be getting a little overconfident in the simulator. So I might have.
It's okay. The market will humble you when you start to.
I do live. I'm gonna definitely start with like 10 shares though, just to get a feel. Why?
You shouldn't.
Why not?
Okay, so look, I'm very adamant of when you start live, you should trade how you are going to trade.
100 shares?
Yes.
But I don't even think I can afford 100 shares.
Okay, if you can, but I mean, you trade with as much as you can trade.
Okay.
The reason for this, people like to say like, they're going to start trading, they're going to start with 10 shares, 5 shares, and then, they're going to do this, and then they do, as they work their way up. But it's the same thing as, the jump from the simulator to the live. You're going in with no risk in your mind now.
Okay.
I'm like, 10 shares because I don't care, I'm going to lose this. But you're not going to gain anything either in the time, right? You're going to do that for a while. You're going to do with your 10 shares. You're going to get confident. What happens when you make the jump down to 100 shares? And you see your P&L starts going up a lot faster, 10 times faster than you used to.
Oh, yeah.
You're back to how it was before when you first started. Now you see it moving a lot faster, and you're not able to deal with those emotions of, oh my gosh, like now it's going like a lot faster. Now I have to sell it faster. I have to buy faster. I have to do it. You don't.
Fair enough.
You need to start, and all that matters is your execution, your placement of your stop loss, and your target profit.
Okay. But reading the book that you gave me, I bought the second book in Andrew's series, Advanced Techniques. And he's like, I don't know if
he says to do it.
What he says he recommends starting like 100 shares minimum, but he also says like if you have margin, like as a beginner, don't use the margin. So like and I don't know, I feel like I'm getting confused in terms of like, do you want me to trade with margin? So if I have a 5K account, but I can afford to hold 15K in like margin, so I can buy like instead of 100 shares, I can buy 250 shares.
Yeah.
But when I go in drawdown or in negatives, then I'm risking with the margin, but not my account size. So like you,
well, they won't let you ever lose more than your account size. Like they'll cancel it before. There's something called like they'll liquidate your position and they'll close it before you lose more.
What are those stories of people going in debt and now they owe money to their brokers?
In this broker, you can't. Like in this one, it's like as soon as you get close, I think up to you're starting to lose like 80% or more. Like they'll wipe your account. Or they'll close your position before, because it's like, who you're gonna pay now? You're gonna have to pay the broker, that money that you owe. So it won't let you go in negatives as far as I know.
So do I treat my account as if I have 15K? So like I have margin. So
I say you treat it as if you have 5 still.
Okay. So I'm only risking like what if I'm risking 1% of 5, then I only risk the 50 shares.
$50.
Whatever, $50. You know what I mean? Anyways, when we get there, we'll get there.
The risk part is a personal thing. So like, if you want to risk 50, no problem. You want to risk 100, no problem. But how much are you aiming for in your profit? If you're aiming for the same profit in both of those scenarios, like there's no point.
Okay.
Like it has to be relative to how much you're willing to risk, and or how much you're looking to gain per trade.
That's another thing. Like I've noticed in the simulator, most stocks, like let's say you want to risk 100 shares, $100, but it's $1 per like movement.
Yeah.
But then there's some stocks you can have your stop loss like at a nice key level, and it's like you're only risking 20 cents. So you're not even risking that.
That's better.
You're not even risking that full amount, but when you make profits, it's like a 10,000 to 1.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's where your entry is so important. You need to enter at a spot where you're gonna have some sort of support below it, right? So what that helps is like once the price, eventually comes up and comes back down as it does to retest that level. Instead of it just going straight down to, if you placed it without any level, it's going to go through the orders and go straight to your level.
Right.
Versus if you place it below a level, now it has to come down, test that level, has to be stronger than the level, break through it, and then get to your stop loss. Okay. It's much harder.
Okay, true.
So that's where your entry matters so much more.
Right, all right. I feel like we're getting a little off track in terms of the podcast, but we'll just jump it back here real quick. So you're reading the books, blah, blah. Let's get to the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Things may be getting more serious here for David Andre in terms of trading.
Yeah.
Were the strategies you were doing in the simulation are you comfortable saying the strategies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Are the strategies you're doing in the simulation, are they the same ones you're doing now? Are they from the book, Andrew's book that I'm like reading, getting strategies from this guy? But essentially, everyone has almost the same strategy.
There's no point. There's no point in trying to hide a strategy or anything, because like it doesn't matter.
Right.
If your mentality is off, you're not going to be able to perform any strategy properly, right? So, but the thing that helped me do well in my situation, alhamdulillah, was that I always practiced the same thing. Always, you know what I mean? When I was practicing, when I was still working my other jobs, I didn't have enough time that I'm going to simulate the whole day. So I always focused on the open. So I stayed and I practiced the open every single time I was trading.
Right.
Every time I was in the simulator, because I knew once I go live, I need to only focus on the open, right? One of the main things why I like trading so much is that it frees up my day, I was used before to working 14 hours, 16 hours a day, having no life. Right, so trading was a way to get out of that, make some good money, and then have the day. Now we go fishing, now we can go bowling, we can do our thing. It's a lot better now. But for me to do that, I had to stay within the zone of what I was practicing. Right, so the strategies I was doing in the simulator were still my opening range breakout, my flag patterns, my bear, bull, cup, everything was the same. Right, and that's the reason why I was able to be profitable when I go in live. A lot of people, they'll get good at something in the simulator. When they go live and their feelings take over, they're not trading that anymore.
Right.
They're trading the fear, they're trading the greed, they're just, going trying to catch every single micro trend there is, so that's why they lose. Versus, before you go live, you know what you're good at, what you're gonna trade, and you have your playbook.
Right.
All you have to do now is execute the same thing that you were executing before, because that's the whole point of back testing in, a simulator before you go live. You prove that it's profitable. Now all you have to do is just keep that robotic mindset and just do that only, don't let any emotions try swinging you any other way.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But there were times before where when I went live and then I just said, forget the playbook. And,
I remember
because of that, I would just do random stuff, right? And then you'd just see entry, entry, I'll just be making trades every 1 second, and it wasn't profitable.
Right. Me, freaking, I remember I was doing micros.
Yeah.
So it's literally $5 per point. Yeah. So it's like forever to even get a good profit.
Yeah.
So that I went to minis, but when I went to minis and you're risking $100 per point.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, I wasn't used to seeing that number go up and down.
Yeah, too much.
I said, this is what I did. I'm not even joking. I stopped looking at the chart. Yeah. I looked at the P&L. My heart was racing like crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'll look at the P&L. Red, green.
Yeah.
As soon as it kicks green, get myself on the P&L.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at the chart. So I don't know, my risk tolerance probably I should probably start it high. Not high, manageable, but that jump was crazy.
Exactly, yeah. That's why it's harder. Once you see that P&L, that's one of the main enemies.
Right.
That's why I harp so much about set your stop loss, set your profit, and just let it do its thing. Don't let it influence you, the P&L.
Right. I remember this guy, I walked up from, I don't know if I was coming back from work.
Yeah.
I had a shoot to do, and then I came back because I had intermission, for 2 hours of free time.
Yeah.
I walk up the stairs, and he was trading in the morning, but I think you were done at that point.
Okay.
I'm walking up, turn the corner, and all I hear is, boom, chair flies back. And then he just shuts off his computer and storms upstairs. I'm like, uh-oh, what happened here?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do. I remember a couple of times where I felt like that, but that was, that's the beginner's journey of the trading, yeah.
Would you say that was beginner? Because this time from that to literally quitting and going full-time and becoming
very fast, yeah.
It felt very fast.
Yeah.
And everything started moving quickly. So, I don't know, do you want to take us through the process of maybe...
That was when, the switch started to happen, right? When I suffered a couple of those big losses, the main thing that brought me back was what did I change versus when I was in the simulator? And a lot of the time, I realized it's because I wasn't trading my normal playbook anymore, right? So once I made the switch and I went back to always every morning opening range breakout, or now that I'm more comfortable with the market, I have some pre-market plays or pre-market setups that lead into, the open play. So before then, it was still me just I see it go up, I'm going to buy. It goes down, I'm going to sell, or short. But after, a couple of those losses, and I was like, what am I doing here? I needed to change my mentality and change how I was trading. After I made the change, the profitability went through the sky. It did not, the only losses I suffered were just, my normal losses, right? But because of the way that I was setting my target profits, one profit would wipe out, 4 to 5 losses from before, right? So that's where your risk management comes into play so much more.
Right.
And that's when, that was very close to when, I met my business partner, the birth of the company, when I made the switch to leave the trading and do everything. That's where it all happened very fast, rapid succession.
It did.
Then.
You had a whole little, I don't know if you want to share, I don't care, you don't have to, but you had a whole little plan. I remember
to quit.
You showed me your paper.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, it was crazy how you met every obstacle.
Yeah, that's what I like. In certain things, I'm very organized, and I credit the military and my upbringing for that one, the discipline in it. But it was I did have a sheet of paper that said, on this day, I'm aiming for this. If I hit this, next day I'm doing this. And then at the end, it's a quick job, right? So it was planned in that way, but the way that it unfolded was a way that I couldn't have prepared for, everything else that came, with the business being born and, you know,
Right.
that whole side of the story developing.
Okay, so you're talking about everything moving very quickly.
Yeah.
So, and then the company starting and everything moving fast paced.
Yeah.
So, if, you want to take us through that whole process? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you like, what am I even doing? Because it felt like a day before you're throwing your chair across the room.
Yeah.
And then like a day later, you're like, I figured this out.
Okay, it wasn't a day,
And then,
it was at least 3 months, 3-4 months.
whatever. And then right after that, you're like developing, met your business partner.
Yeah.
And then the birth of the company.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when we were living together, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. How's it happening?
What's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to take us through it.
Yeah, so essentially what was going on at the perfect time as I was, you know, focusing on day trading more and looking to make the transition into trading, I was actually introduced to somebody at the mosque that through a mutual friend. His name's Abdullah. He's a junior trader now with us in the company, but so he introduced me to somebody that he knew was already in the business game, you know, already, you know, knew what was going on, knew how to bring something up from the beginning. So when I first heard about the guy, I was thinking about it, and it was tough because I was like, the main sort of thing was because I didn't want to turn it into a business at first, right? I was like, why would I do that? I can just trade, you know, my own money. I can do my thing, you know, not have to, you know, worry about other people's money or anything like that. Right. So I was like, what's the point? You know, like where's the pros and the cons for this one? But the main change and the main switch happened to me after I even reverted to Islam, right? So then after I did that, my sort of perspective and my mindset changed also, that, you know, the main reason I wanted to do firefighting was to help more people, right? But with day trading and with the possibility of making this into a business, the possibility to do better and more widespread good was, you know, completely night and day versus firefighting, right? So it's like, for me, like the issue with firefighting, or not so much the issue, but like the drawback is like you save somebody, say you pull them out of the burning building, but then that's where your job is done. You know, you say good luck, have a good one, and take care. You know,
not just like that.
Well, pretty much, you patch them up, set them in the ambulance, and they're gone. Like actually, on to the next. But you know, the financial ramifications of even like a fire or anything, you know. If you go around here, how many people are living paycheck to paycheck? Or, you know, they have money, but, you know, they hear inflation's going crazy, or, you know, their money's worth less, or this is happening. They're losing all their money, and they're scared for the future because, you know, a lot of people have kids that want to go to university. They want to do all this crazy stuff that costs money that they don't have. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my main reason for actually deciding to incorporate the business and, you know, partner up with my business partner named Omar was for that reason, right? That we had a couple of people that like knew I was a trader, and they wanted to, you know, invest in something that, you know, could give them some good returns, much better than the bank's returns.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like the banks, I don't know what's going on.
TD Bank, you're going out of business.
Don't say cut that.
Listen up, Banks of Canada.
But yeah, the whole banking system right now that we have, it's like, you know, they'll take your money and they'll say best we'll do for you is 5%, or, you know,
not even, bro, probably like 2%.
Yeah, they say 0.5% or something. I saw it was on one of like the, you know, high interest, you know, high earnings savings account, 0.5%. I'm like, what's that?
You can tell me if I'm wrong, but you give the bank money to invest.
Yeah.
Aren't they essentially doing the same thing? Like, do they
essentially
put it in?
They're trading it
or ETF or something like that.
Most of the way that they make their money is because they do like this thing called fractional reserve, right? So if you give them $10, that gives them the right now to lend out $100 to other people, charge them interest on top of that.
Okay.
So that's how they're making.
It's like a leverage,
huh? It's kind of like leverage, but they call it fractional reserve because they don't really have that money. You know what I mean? So that's how the, you know, inflation comes up, and
that's why America's
all this other stuff. You're giving money that you don't,
$2 trillion in debt.
That doesn't exist, and you're doing all this next level things that isn't necessarily right? So that was the main reason why, you know, I decided to actually incorporate the business, and and make it legit where people can actually put some money and get some good returns back themselves. It was a big jump, right? Like you said, like I was just coming over the hump. I was getting consistent. I was doing things properly.
After how many months of consistency did you then decide to go like full time and the hump of getting into the making this business?
I think it was about half a year. Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up, half a year.
Yeah, because once we moved in together, that's when we started doing the trading, and then that's when you saw me throw the chair. You remember? Because I brought the second.
Was that like still like that was well? I guess when you threw the chair or whatever, was that still the learning curve, or was that like you're there like profitability, but there's still losses or like break even?
No, that was before still. That was still pretty early. So then after the chair throwing incident, that's when I made the switch, right? And mentally I was able to change my trading plan and actually work at just only trading my specific strategy. I did that for a couple of months, remember? Because then that's when I got into the mint. And then that's when I did that and joined the other security job. I was in for like probably 7 months, not with the mint, but with other job before I quit. That's when I quit was when when the other one came along, and I was like, okay, we're out of here. We're gonna do this one.
Okay, my whole timeline, my brain was messed up. I remember you started trading before we moved in.
Yeah. That was all myself.
Yeah. That was simulator or some money?
No, that was money, but myself only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it wasn't any investments or anything I was doing then yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but
in terms of the business and bringing investors, because it's big ass responsibility.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I would not be able to handle that. I'm not responsible for someone's money.
Of course,
they signed a contract saying, tough luck. If things go southwards.
Of course, but it's still, that's why it's so hard, because we do want to set up, some of our future goals, like we want to be the first proprietary trading group in Ottawa. So like actually like a Wall Street kind of thing where we have,
yes, sir.
20 to 40 different traders that come into the building that we have, and trade like together. But that's the hard thing, finding people that
can trade.
can just trade consistently, but they got to trade consistently themselves. And then to put that pressure on top of them after that, right? To trade other families' money. Right. That if they lose it, like.
I've seen there's this one YouTube guy. He's in New York. He owns a whole proprietary firm. Is that what
trading group? Yeah,
trading group. And essentially, they have their experienced traders, and when they bring someone on board, they're like, we'll give you a small size to start with, let's say 5K, and get your feet wet, get comfortable with the market,
and mentor them as they grow,
and mentor them, and the experienced traders will be able to cover the losses of the rookie casuals.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, so right now you're basically a one show. You're the only guy.
Right now, it's
trading.
It is all on my back kind of thing.
Yeah, LeBron James. Yep.
We have a couple of junior traders, that we're developing to bring them up into it as well.
Are they the ones in the community?
A couple of them. Wow. Yeah, it's 2 or 3 of them in the community are people we're looking towards, maybe putting that in the future. But again, they're still learning the beginning of trading.
Right.
So it's it's hard, but it's also pretty cool thing to see someone develop in that way. And it's good. You have to catch them right as they're learning so that they can get over that hump pretty early on in their career.
Right. So you mentioned you wanted the business, obviously a trading firm here in Ottawa.
Yes.
There is one. Is there one in Montreal and Toronto, or just Toronto?
I think there are some, but the main difference is so with us in our business model right now, it's mainly, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's something that's called Sharia compliance in Islam, right? So you got to make sure that what you're earning is money that is, halal money, not money that you're making off of interest or you're making off of, the downfall of others, or or it's not from stocks, just generally that are based on companies that are not doing good things, right? So that is the main difference. We haven't found a proprietary trading group, let alone in Ottawa or Montreal, I don't know about even Toronto that is trying to do this trading group thing, like have a firm that only trades in this way. You know what I mean? Because everyone else, it's like, you know, if you're not bound by any of those morals or anything, you trade whatever and anything. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So we go above and beyond for the next one for, you know, our clientele.
That's good. Yeah. So everything moved quickly, and then next thing I know, you're moving to Dubai. Well, that was the plan for the business. So why Dubai?
That's part of the future plans, but we have received some very good interest in different countries, namely Dubai. Right, it's the next smartest plan for us, you know, to set up a sort of like a foreign investment sort of opportunity for people. Mainly, obviously, you know, the tax breaks that businesses and their, you know, and their executives get.
Listen up, CRA.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. Cut it.
Yeah.
But it's a, you know, they make it very lucrative over there in Dubai. You know, over there it's a different sort of mindset versus here. You know, here it's sort of like you know, get your 9 to 5, do your thing, and you know, pay your taxes,
right,
and then pretty much get screwed over. Whereas over there,
like
they're giving people the opportunity to, you know, grow their business. They don't have to pay, you know, as much tax as here. You know, now I think there are some places that are getting different tax laws. I think that came into effect. There's a 9% tax on the mainland of Dubai, but there's still, you know, trade-free zones.
Right.
So within those ones, you can trade within other trade-free zones, and you're still tax-free, right? So it helps facilitate the growth of new businesses, you know, in ways that you're not going to find in most other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's like pretty much every single trader, not every single trader, but a lot of them like go to Dubai mainly for that reason.
Because you know, it's like there's reason, you know, there's reasons for everything, obviously, but the taxes and the laws that come with taxation is much more, you know, restricting here, you know.
Right. Well, yeah.
Everyone, like for most of the people, you'll ask them, you know, like, so taxes are so high, so, you know, how do you feel about that? And they'll say it's okay because we get free healthcare or something. But what kind of free healthcare? If I broke, you know, I dislocated my pinky and I was standing in line for like 4 hours before I saw something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or people are seriously injured and you have to wait 6 hours for a doctor to come and tell you, you know, do this. Sometimes, you know, I had a sore throat. I was gonna die when I was a kid. I just had like a sore throat, a viral infection. I go to the doctor. I wait for 3 hours, and the guy tells me to gargle salt water and go home. You know, like what kind of? They could have saved me my time. You know what I mean? Over there, it's much different. Like you have to pay.
Right.
You don't pay. You're not gonna pay an arm and a leg. You know, to go see a doctor and actually be seen within an hour, get your treatment, do this, and then you're good to go. You know.
Yeah.
And even with that, you know, there's insurance. There's other things you can do, which you're still paying for here, anyways.
That's true.
So it's like I might as well just pay, so I can get the proper, you know, help that I need, you know, very soon, very quick, rather than wait. And then, you know, there's how many people that they go to the hospital, they need tests, they need, you know, blood work done, and then, you know, they won't hear anything from the doctor for like 6 months, you know, a year, and then the doctor will call him back, tell him to do another test. You're like, okay, that whole time, you know, I got radio silence.
It's literally my dad doesn't even go to no doctors. He like says he hates doctors.
Immigrant parents, that's never go to the doctors.
This guy
never go to the doctors, anyways.
Because he has like a thing here and he's like cheap or whatever. You've seen it, and like they tell him like go get a check. What if it's like cancerous or not? And then it's not cancerous, but like he went to the doctor and the doctor's like checking it, you know. And he's like, all right, we're gonna do like do this test, and then we're gonna do this test, and then it lasted for like a month maybe, like 17,000 different tests to make sure like it's not cancerous. And then my dad just got fed up with all the appointments, and he's like, "Bump this, bro. I'm ready 70." He's like, "I'm 70. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die."
Oh my goodness, these guys.
But yeah, it's like, what's the point? Like 10,000 tests, a million hours. Just...
How about I tell you, I went to the doctor one time. I never had a family doctor for at least a decade before.
Oh.
Right? So like until I turned like, I forgot when it was. I think it was like 17 or something after I joined the military. I got a family doctor. On my first appointment, she's checking my abdomen right here, right?
Yeah.
She's checking it. How about I tell you? She looks at me, the doctor looks at me and says, I don't know if this is your ab or your liver. You see what I'm saying? So the doctor says, I don't know if this is your ab or your liver, so we're going to send you for some blood work and some tests to see if your liver's functioning properly. So I'm like, listen, doc,
liver.
you know, like, I played competitive football, volleyball, basketball. My liver's fine, bro. You know what I mean? I was like, if my liver was, you know, located halfway across my body, I think I would have picked something up by then, but it's something else. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I know because we talked also off camera and all that stuff, you're also planning on moving to Toronto. So is this like for the business or?
That's more of a personal, it's not really
Oh, okay.
It's a business and a personal move, but my wife is going to school over there, so we're going to just relocate there for the time being, and then. But 100%, we're not going to stay. I don't think we're not going to stay in this country. In Canada.
I thought it was for the business. I didn't even know that.
No. That's why we're going there. But we will set up the business, an office there, and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, see what's going on in Toronto. Because
so probably a lot of people too for like investors.
Yeah.
Toronto. It's like,
compared to Ottawa, you know, that's the business.
Trudeau's gonna be sneaking over when he sees the proprietary firm in Ottawa. Boom.
That's why
he's gonna be sneaking like this. And look, he's like, ooh, money.
He's gonna come for the pockets. That's why. But no, we're definitely in the future. We're definitely not staying in Canada.
So earlier you mentioned a few of the trading strategies you love doing: the ORB, the flag, the cup and handle. If you want to, which one would be your favorite, and I guess the process of the execution, or how do you know which strategy to pick on certain stocks or the market condition? I guess.
So every single day, the one that I know guaranteed I always like to play is the opening range breakout. So the way that one works is you don't trade the first candle, you wait for it to set its range, you know, the high and the low, and you just mark the high and the low of that first candle. And then you wait for the next second candle to break out either direction and you go with it. So it's pretty, not self-explanatory, but it's very simple and easy to grasp when you're first beginning to trade, because all you have to do is just wait, let the market show you what it wants to do, set your levels for the high and the low, and that's your opening range. And then you're just playing the breakout, whichever direction it goes. If it happens to come back, like it breaks out and comes back down, you get stopped for, a little bit of a loss, but you keep your position and you close it, right? You're not trying to chase it and then flip it down. If it comes back down and, you get stopped, that's it. Your opening range breakup play is done,
Okay.
There's another way that you can do the 1 minute. If it comes and does that, then you can switch to the 5-minute chart. So now you're waiting the rest of the 5-minute period on the first candle, wait for the second one to start forming itself, and then you play the breakout of that one.
Okay.
Pretty easy, pretty standard one. A lot of traders like using that one because it's, at the beginning and the opening, it's hard for you just to tell which direction it wants to go within the first candle. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they say wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even some people wait the first hour, they don't even trade it. They wait, and then, if it has a direction, then they know what to do. If it didn't pick a direction, then they're out.
Right.
But I like playing it very fast and very, quick.
That's good, yeah. I don't know. I'm finding the VWAP strategies. I like the VWAP strategies more, I think.
Those are good, yeah, for sure. But, a lot of the times for me, it's like, what I've been practicing so much is mainly the first 30 minutes is where I make, 90% of my profits.
Right. That's also another thing, because from reading the book, the one you gave me, Andrew talks about things like depends what time of the day you want to trade. So it depends on what time you want to trade. You're going to be using different strategies and all that.
Of course, yeah.
So I know myself guaranteed. I want to try. Like most people, I think, you just want to be done in the first hour. Basically, hour and a half, you're
That's
done.
the toughest time, though.
Right, but it's the most volatile time, I think.
Of course, yeah.
So, most toughest, but most rewarding.
Exactly. High risk, high reward.
There you go, boys. But,
and the open, it's not like I'm going to be looking for let's just say a support and resistance sort of play. At the beginning, the volatility is so high that most of the times it's breaking out, right? So the type of trader I am is mainly a breakout trader. I don't really like trading reversals because it's just not, in my characteristic to try and time to go against the trend.
Right.
And
Yeah.
time when the reversal's coming. So me, I'd much rather go with the trend and play all the breakouts. That's my type of trading. So with that, you have to hone that in with the time that you're trading in the market, right? So if I'm playing breakouts, I only like to trade when the breakouts are most likely going to happen, and that's the morning, right?
Correct.
The middle of the day is perfect for people that are support and resistance traders, right? Because the volume dies off a lot, and the volatility also dies off. It's much more likely that when it hits a significant support and resistance, it's going to actually reverse, right? And that's what a support and resistance trader wants. It's because they time it. Once it gets down to the support, they're going to go in long for the bounce up right to the next resistance.
Right.
So people that like trading like that need to also change how they're going to trade and when they're going to trade, right?
Right. If you're a beginner trader, what time of day would you recommend them to?
What I practice teaching, a lot of my students is, especially when it's the first time and they never traded before, I tell them trade the whole day, right? In the simulator, because you have nothing to lose first. Secondly, you get to try everything at every different time of the market being open. And then that's when you can start to find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. After that, that's when we start to hone in on, that specific thing, right? So like if I see somebody is trading the whole day, with the first 2 hours, they're consistently taking losses. They don't know how to trade it fast enough. But, come 12 o'clock or, 11:30, they're doing perfect support and resistance. I'm going to tell them, why don't you just focus on that right now, When you're in the simulator, you can practice the rest, but there's also a wisdom in just, sticking to what you're good at and what you know also. And developing that, because trading's hard enough. You don't need to be a jack of all trades to become profitable.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned a bit about the community. I understand. Well, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory, but why? Well, you kind of already touched on it, I guess, helping others and all that. But why community, and instead of just posting, sitting, make your bread, turn off your computer, kick back, and relax.
Some days I do want it. Some days I do. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, with our DA Traders Club, I mainly just did it as a way to, bring more awareness to how to trade, as well as, how to trade the right way. A lot of the people, as soon as they come, I tell them, if you think it's a get rich quick, just stop. If that's what you're here for, I can honestly give you a refund, because this isn't what it's about.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's this isn't what trading is about. You're not gonna make $1,000 in the first 30 minutes once you go live in the second week of trading. It doesn't make a realistic sense. But another main reason why I did it was because I didn't join any community when I first started, right?
Yeah. Wait, that's another thing. Did you have a mentor, or did you look up to somebody when you were learning the fundamentals of trading?
So I read a bunch of Andrew Aziz's books.
Right.
But that was about it, really.
Okay.
Right, so a lot of my mistakes came by trial by fire, So it's I did things that I could have smoothed my journey a lot more if, there was somebody that I could have, looked up to and could have just asked directly, yo, what's going on? Can you help me? Why is this happening? And just have somebody that's already been through the journey help me, right? So that's one of the main reasons why I created also the communities, because a lot of people can see people online that are trading, doing well, and they want to do it, but there's the disconnect,
Right.
They can't just go ask somebody that has 2 million followers, yo, bro, how do I do this? Can you help me? How do I, work on my entries or my exits without waiting, 2 weeks for a YouTube video to drop about it,
Yeah.
So within our DA Traders Club, I do have live trading every day. Any of our members can come on, ask me a question live. Even if I'm in a trade, I'll just tell, wait a second, let me, partial out, or let me do this. But then I answer the questions, you know what I mean? So that's one of the positives, and one of the things that I'm looking forward to continuing is that people can just come to me and ask me, either live or, once we roll out, we're looking to roll out a weekend sort of 1 hour Q&As or courses that I'll be offering for anybody in the community can come watch and come ask me any question right there.
Right.
So that's one of the main reasons, it helps to have somebody that you know and you can trust, but as well as you can talk to
Right.
about the trading.
That's another thing, because like you introduced me to trading.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? What's happening? The very first thing I remember, I started searching up a bunch of videos, and then I'm just taking in all this information. I don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't know what's happening.
You need like the mentorship to be there. It's like if you want to be a doctor, do you think you just go take you watch some modules on YouTube and then go perform surgery? It's like, no, you need the hours in the practice. You need the hours with somebody that's already done it for many years, that can help you, and knows the struggles that you're probably going through at the beginning.
Right. And like, also, I guess a good analogy is like, like my sister, she's becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
And like they go for 8 years of medical school until to become like a professional and successful.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to trading, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, you got to put your years in.
You put your years in, but a lot of people do fall for the in and out, just get in, get out, like quick money. They find out sooner than later.
It's a tough thing because it's like, who do you blame for something like that? Like, you could like blanket blame it on them, say like, how could you think you could come and make that much money in the thing? But also, some of the blame has to go to the content creators themselves that are putting that out into the field, saying like, it's so fast, so easy, you can do that, come do this, come do that. Because if people don't know, then they're just going off what they see.
Right. And like a lot of people, like for me, if you didn't do the day trading or whatever, and like I heard about it and started watching like videos on YouTube about it, it's like you watch all these people that you do not know, so it's kind of hard. It's like you see them making money, but hard to trust them. Is this real? Is this fake? Whatever. And then my whole mindset kind of like did shift because of you, essentially. Because I'm like, brother, this is someone that I've known for my whole life that's doing this successfully.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, it's not just some random guy on the screen that I'm listening right now, but someone's actually performing and becoming successful in this business model. So that definitely helps out.
Of course, yeah. It's always good to know somebody, in the field. But that's, that comes with also networking. Like you got to get out there and talk to people. You got to learn and meet new people that are at the place that you want to be, as well as a step above that. You know what I mean?
This might be an interesting thing that people would want to hear.
Yeah.
What is your biggest loss in your trading career, and how have you managed it? But I mean, you've managed it pretty well by the looks of it. Or was your losses always like, you following your risk management plan? Have you ever said, bought the plan and then
of course at the beginning
average
some tough ones?
You ever average down?
Never. I've never averaged.
You've never averaged down? Oh, okay.
Never. That's something that I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me why I would do it.
Right.
So I was like, nah, forget it. But I have held the bag a couple times, when the price is going down, I just hold it for too long. But as of recently, I haven't taken any extraordinary losses because I've worked very hard to manage my risk to reward ratios and keep that solid and solidified, because that makes sense to me. If I keep it the same, I just need one to wipe all of those other ones out.
Right.
But at the beginning of my trading career, there were some pretty devastating ones that did happen. Like I believe, let me think here. When I first started when I first started going live, this was probably about almost 4 years ago. And the mindset of this was that the issue that I thought was that I needed more capital.
Right.
More capital, more profit, no problem. And what had happened actually was that I was trading. It was going okay, I wasn't taking it too seriously because I was still working, all my other jobs. I was still doing my other thing. But I did one of the dumbest mistakes ever, okay? So what I did actually was I took a loan out.
Oh,
yeah.
Cut the show.
I know.
Cut the show. Actually, well, that's not a bad, okay, hold on, let me rephrase that. yes, it's a bad thing, but have you ever watched, I think his name, not Omar. Is it Omar? What's his name? I actually think his name, he's a trader. I think his name's Omar.
I know who you're talking about.
Omar. He's from Brooklyn or Dubai or something.
I think so, yeah.
He's like, he made like 11 million in 1 year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this guy took out, he could do it. I don't know how he did it, but it was credit cards. So he got approved for credit cards, and then he took he transferred the cash advance, and he used that for trading. And it worked out for him.
Yeah. It didn't work out for me.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, how about I tell you?
This is going to be the intro of the video.
It did not work for me. But I'll tell you what, it did solidify something in my head. But in Islam, interest, haram, it's not allowed, right? So any sort of interest that you go out to take, obviously there could be, I guess, some extreme circumstances where you have to, like, it's either that or you face some pretty bad things. But in this case, I took out the loan. I think it was probably, when I first came to Islam. So it was very, very recent to then. But I took out the loan and I put it into the trading. And there was no good thing that came out of it. I'll actually tell you right now.
How much was the loan?
Huh?
How much was the loan?
It was only 10,000.
Oh, so that's where the 10K came from. That's where the 10K. Wait, was that the 10K that you've been using?
The one that I lost, yeah. That's the one. That was the one that I lost it, yeah.
Oh.
So how about I tell you this?
All right, so I don't feel bad about myself right now.
No. There's most traders, many.
Well, they all start off like this.
Exactly.
You have the nice stories at the beginning to share.
I did lose it, but it solidified something in my head that it's not worth doing something that's wrong to try and justify doing something right later. Right? So the means of me getting that money was something that was impermissible. And as a result, we said there's no barakah, no blessing in it.
Right.
So what happened? I lost it. I had to work my tail off in my other 3-4 jobs, and then I pay it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why he got 10 jobs.
Huh?
This is why
This wasn't the reason why I got the job. Because I could have just kept making the monthly payments, but the interest on it was ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking. I did.
Oh shit! This is getting good. This is content for DJ. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at it now, but I know in the process of it, you're probably like pooping your pants. It was too much.
It happened, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm still working, but the only good thing was that it wasn't my whole account.
Okay.
So when I did that, I still was trading with, I think about like 10 to 20,000 was my own anyways.
Okay.
So I was like, it's okay. If I put some in, like I'll be making 3,000 a day, no problem. So I did it. And to be honest, I lost it very fast. Very fast.
The loan money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That amount that I put in was gone very fast.
You trade on margin with it?
Huh?
You traded with margin?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't think so. I think it was just like, I honestly believe there just was no goodness in that money. So it was gone very fast.
Damn.
After then, I knew the money that I get, that I trade with, as well as we accept for any investment, needs to come from a good thing.
Right.
I can't risk taking it from anywhere that could have possibility of being bad, because then it's gonna taint the rest of the money.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like a poison. You don't want that to go anywhere near you. So I just stick away now. I learned my lesson, and it was definitely very devastating at the time.
Oof. Yeah. That's wow.
But the good thing was that I was still working then, and I was able to pay it off pretty fast.
That's good. Yeah. Don't quit your jobs to trade, because then the pressure is going to be immense.
That's another thing.
That's also another thing for me, because I don't have a guaranteed full job. So as much as I want to go in right now, I have money to risk. I'm willing to lose it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to drop 20K. I can't do that. Not now.
Yeah.
I'll put 5, maybe some 10.
Yeah. Do 10.
I can do 10.
Okay. That's another thing. Like, I guess it depends, but you got to have some clarity as to your priorities and what you want from the trading. So for me, I wanted the trading, so I wouldn't ever, force myself to work 3 jobs to make ends meet and, earn extra savings. So trading for me was a way to give me some freedom in my thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I had no problem taking the extra stress. Or I won't say no problem. There was definitely some big big stressors that came with it once you make the jump from quitting all your jobs to only trading.
Yeah.
Like obviously your mindset starts to shift because you start thinking in terms of like, oh, I have to make this amount because I have to pay my rent, I have to do this. All that side doesn't exist when you're working normally, right? Because like you're still gonna make that money from your other job, so it makes it a bit easier. Mm-hmm. So if your goal is just to supplement your income, I would say still keep your other job, right? Rather than just try and jump ship, do your trading and think you're gonna become a millionaire, because it's still hard once you make that jump. And once you quit to trade, it's still a bit of a gap you have to bridge over.
Right. You mentioned a bit about Islam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you think that definitely had like an impact on your trading, or like I guess it might have with the people you've met, obviously, but
like how I traded, you mean? Like how I trade, or like the business side, or what?
Maybe like both. I guess you kind of covered it.
I bet, yeah. But it's like at the end of my days, I know like Allah or God already has predestined how much money we're all gonna have. Right. So if I start making a big deal about like, or I become too greedy, being like, oh, I need to make an extra this amount, this, and I end up losing it, that's all on me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it actually helps a lot that I recognize that if I end my day, and it happens a lot of traders, you close your day, but then you see like the move you were in kept going up, and you missed it. You know what I mean? So to me, it's okay now. I'm like, okay, it just wasn't for me then, But anything that will come to me will come, whether I do it through trading, whether I get it through the business, do anything that will come to you will come. Whether you try and force it in the market, or you just earn a normal living, you'll get what's due to you. For the new traders, beginner traders, people in the community joining, still starting off, whether you're beginner, middle, or advanced, no matter what part of the journey you're at, what are some books that you would recommend for beginners, intermediates, or advanced who want to just trade? So I think at the beginning, when you're first starting off, it's good to get a well-rounded book that talks about all areas of the market. So the main one I did was How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz, because it talks about, trading as a whole. It doesn't get too complicated about, one aspect or the other. It tells you all the general information you need to know before you come up with a plan of how you're going to do it, right? After you've already, read a book or two and you're in the simulator, the next books I'd recommend would be like books that focus on your psychology, right? So psychology and trading is one of the big things that people neglect, but it's such a major part of trading. And you have to always be working at it to become the best trader that you can be. So there's a bunch of different books. There's a book called Trading in the Zone. There's
I got that one.
Mastering Trading Psychology. There's a bunch of different books that just focus on the mindset. There's no point in you reading, some advanced books until you've dipped your foot in the water. Like if you don't even understand the basic emotions that come with trading, then there's no point of you reading how to master them if you haven't even felt them yet. So I'm not saying wait until you've suffered like big losses and you're circling the drain now with your hopes and your fears. But once you start trading and you understand, okay, like it's harder than everyone says it is, obviously, and you need to better yourself. That's when you get to the next level of books, right? Of learning about like, okay, how do I deal with feeling, this fear, or the FOMO, is a big one, the fear of missing out. Or how do I deal with, the hesitations that I face. And then after that, it's pretty much, focusing on your specific craft, right? So like now I'll read books about, specifics to breakout trading, like breakout day trading. Versus swing trading. I know I never.
Would you ever swing trade? Do you ever swing trade positions?
No, never.
No. Okay. Would you ever?
Probably not.
Would you ever invest?
Maybe.
I mean, that's not bad.
It's a whole other beast. Each one of these is like a specific niche. Like I'll have to do a lot of research into like how to, do long-term trading, because that's the opposite mindset of that I'm in right now with day trading.
Right.
I want the fast, the quick ones done, where I have control. When you're doing the long-term ones, it's easier in a way that you don't have to actively manage it, but it's harder because you could be looking at a negative P&L for like a month before it goes green finally.
Waiting 10 years just for some profits.
Exactly. So it's like
I remember I did that. I put some money. I put some money.
Everyone's done that. Well, simple.
I put some money in Simple.
Yeah.
What did I invest in? I could have. I bought the energy company.
Yeah.
Enbridge. I got some shares. Some shares in Enbridge or whatever. Bro, I only put $100 in, and like after like 6 months.
Yeah.
It literally went up to $103.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's 100 shares. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And then what happened? It wasn't COVID, but it was like, it was after COVID, but they're still giving the fear of COVID, like stay inside, causing
lockdowns maybe coming back.
Yeah, lockdowns, the fears of it. So it went up 6 months, $3. Next day, I'm down from 100, like $7. I'm like, what is
All
this?
that time, yeah. Exactly.
And then it eventually came back up to like $99, or no, I think $101. And I said, okay, bum this. It's been like 8 months.
8 months, $1 profit.
I took it. I didn't even make anything. You know why? I took it out.
Yeah.
Came back to my account, and then on my tax return, I saw the transaction. Well, it's simple, $1.38 for the taxes. I'm like, are you guys serious right now?
If you're gonna do that, might as well just keep it in for the rest of your life. Don't take it out. There's no.
Oh my gosh.
But if you're not, if you're not going to actively, manage it, then it's always better just to put it in, the SPY, the ETF, or something like that. That will give you like a 3% return over the year, or like a 5%. If it's a good year, maybe sometimes it goes up at 7 or to 10.
Yeah.
So that's still better than keeping it in your saving account.
Of course.
but still okay though.
So I know you're planning to like travel a bit right now.
Yeah.
So did you always have, question one, are you going to be trading while you're traveling? And two, was the thought of when you're getting introduced to day trading, of becoming a travel trader, being able to trade from anywhere in the world? Obviously, it's not for everybody because it's just different,
of course,
on the damn smaller screen when you have your whole setup.
Yeah.
But did you ever have that as an accomplishment or thing you wanted to try out?
For sure. That's one of the main things about trading, is that like I can do it anywhere in the world. So in a way, I've been, especially blessed that it doesn't affect me too much where I'm trading. Even on my portable setup, like it's the laptop, 2 monitors, normal stuff as well, stuff for recording. I'm still, very consistent, right? And it's still very good. Like in Egypt, I think I made the last time I went to Egypt with my wife and family was not a year ago yet, but I think it was like last November or something. But that's where I hit one of my biggest days, right? And it's like sometimes it just helps you to go back to the basics, go back to the Stone Ages, on a little thing that you just focus. You're just like, hey, I'm only here to play this setup. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't care.
Right.
Versus when you're at home, you got 15 monitors, you got a TV, and you're like, I'm gonna miss this, and you try forcing anything.
Yeah.
Over there, it's much more simple, and a lot easier for me. But it was always in the picture that I wanted to trade.
That's something cool
on the go. And I know even when I talk to you about it, we always talking about trading in Cancun on the beaches or something.
Yep, Cancun.
Because
we're still doing that.
Yeah, of course. It's one of the things you gotta, you take advantage of what you get now.
Right. Do you find that you trade better, or you traded better on the like the smaller laptop, or at home?
It strains my eyes a lot more, but it's like
small little candlesticks.
Yeah, it feels good when you're like, hey, you know what, like I just paid for my whole trip just from one trade,
Right.
It's like now I'm good to go, like everything else street profit, and you don't have to worry about when I get back home, I miss my wages for 2 weeks, so how am I gonna survive, make it back. So extra, it's still good.
It's definitely on the list.
Of course, yeah.
Remember the days.
Do it one day. We'll post a video about it.
We'll go live.
Yeah.
Live at Cancun. Remember the days I wanted to quit after I went live?
Yeah, I know.
After I went
These
live.
guys is like, I got profit. What am I still working for?
No, like.
Oh, quit the market.
Quit the market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I went live. I was slowly bleeding out the account, and then I remember I talked to you. I'm like, yeah, man. I tried trading. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
I'll just stick to my other business stuff and all that. But have you ever had the thought of throwing it out the window?
Right now, not so much, but before.
No, not now. Obviously, not
before,
now.
of course, it was like that's the other side of trading. You know, like sometimes you don't know if you're good enough to make it. It's like you start to doubt yourself. But in time, you learn how to combat those feelings and just stick to your plan, and your plan can it can compensate for a month of losses. As long as you stick to it being good. 1 week of good profitable trading, it can wipe out a whole month of bad, but it's a lot harder once you're in that hole, like to stay strong mentally. That's some of the pitfalls when it comes to trading. But
did you ever struggle with holding on to your winners, or is it holding on to your winners? So like you're supposed to hold on to your winners and cut the losers.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you hold on to the losers and you cut the winners.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it was like I would trade and I don't even know what I was doing, to be honest. Like if you look at my journal from back then, I was like, what is this? Like you'll just see, and it was like they call it the Christmas tree because it's just green and red, like following all the price orders. I'm like, what is this? It's not even trading.
It's kind of funny because like when I was doing the futures, I was watching all these strategy videos. Did I know anything that was happening? No. But like even when I went to the stock market, I was like I had this 1 week where it's like everything clicked.
Yeah.
And then the week later, even on simulator, like nothing was working.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what was I reading? Questioning everything. And then now doing the actual playbook and with the different plays, it's like, I don't know, things are clicking as like in terms of it, like it's like the beginning is like the chase. Like the money, and then after it's kind of like you just get comfortable watching how the market moves in a way.
Exactly.
So like, was there? Well, I guess what was the click for you that it went from,
My main click was in the understanding the price movement, right, and where the price you'll think it should have bounced off of here, but it actually breaks through it and then comes back down to test it, right? When you first start. And you set a level, I don't know, psychologically, I thought like it would just come, touch it and bounce off, do it clean. But it rarely ever does anything like that, right? The click came for me is understanding that the price will oftentimes actually just go through the level, and that's the test, is when it goes through, how's it gonna react, and when the volume comes in, is the volume sending it, away from the level, or is it actually pulling it back up, right? So understanding more about the wave-like movement of the price is some of the main the main change in my mindset when it came to trading. After I understood that, I saw that like everything's like to fall in place.
Right. I have no idea how long it's going. Probably 2 hours at this point. I was not expecting that. I was expecting like a 40-minute interview / podcast. But I think it's been pretty cool to sit down and talk. I know we've been boys for a while, and it's like most guys are like this anyways. Fucking, you don't even sit down and ever have a conversation, like a proper conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's been very interesting to hear your story from the beginnings all the way through your trading journey from beginning to end, and obviously to what you're doing now with your business and trading success. And yeah, so I wish you definitely all the best success.
Thank you. You as well, man.
Thanks, boss. Appreciate you being the mentor for me also.
Anytime. You got to do this together, You can't just leave your boys in the dark.
Yeah, for sure. But if you guys are interested and you guys want to follow David here, his socials and all of that, I'll let him introduce all of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, guys. So if you need any more information on our trading community, you can follow us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're all over the place. DA Traders Club is the name. I also have my own personal page in David's Head where I show the behind the scenes of all of this stuff, what it's like to, go through the day-to-day of having the business, going to meetings, traveling, everything like that is on the personal. But again, if you're interested in joining the trading community, you can follow the link down below, or you can send me a message at my Instagram mainly, which is DA Traders Club.
All right, well, thanks for sharing everything with us today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
No worries. I'll leave a link to everything down below if you guys want to follow it. But yeah, off until next time. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.